my lovelies. So today is going to be a little bit different. I have decided that I am going to do a curlformers review. Now this isn't sponsored in any way, this is me just a little bit bored. I'm deciding that because obviously we're in lockdown, there's a lot that's been going on and I haven't been able to really vlog too much just because I haven't really had anything to say, and there's nothing been happening to do. So that being said, I am going to put some makeup on. I'm going to make myself feel a little bit more normal today, and I am going to do the review. Now my curlformers come in different packets. So I had the black case, which is the longest size. In fact, I think Rob got them for me in super long because of the fact they can be, to start with, a little bit expensive. So he decided that he was going to get me the super long ones as my hair's growing. So I have the super long, and these ones do up to, I believe, 22 inches of hair. So by the time it's all curled in, it does do quite a lot of hair. I also have the pink pack, which has got the blue and the green curlformers in. This one is the shorter head pack, which he got me as well a couple of years ago. So the shorter ones, as I say, they come in the blue and the green. These ones I believe did up to 12 inches, but I can't be definite. I will try and Google it in a little bit just to double check for you guys, make sure I'm giving you all the right information. But yeah, so I've decided that this video is going to be a little bit put togethery. I'm gonna do I'm gonna put my makeup on first and then come back to you guys, and then we will start with the curlformers and go from there. So see you in a little minute. Bye. Hey, welcome back guys. It's a few minutes later. I now have all of my makeup on. I just like to feel a little bit more normal, so that was the purpose of this exercise. It's nice for a change, just being able to put makeup on and just sort of feel a bit more myself, really. What with the lockdown going on, I am feeling quite isolated, which I know isolation is the point, but I am struggling not being able to get out of the house. So this is the reason for today. I was going to have a little bit of positivity in my life, put a bit of makeup on, feel like myself. I've had some movies on, all Disney of course. I've had the Disney music on in the background, but again, because of everything being copyrighted, let's not put that on today. But yeah, so basically I've washed my hair and I've dried it. You can do these from wet, it just depends really on what you want to do. Now I have a hood dryer. Being an ex-hairdresser, I have these things to hand and I'm able to use them. You can get one like this. This is from Amazon. It attaches onto your hair dryer, so this bit literally just hooks over your hair dryer. You pop this on your head. It's just a hood drying bonnet, really. They're a couple of quid on Amazon. You can get them on eBay. They come in lots of different colours, but you can also get them off the Hair Flare website. So as I say, I got my curlformers on the Hair Flare website. I have gone on to the website now to have a little look to find out how much the curlformers are on the website. This is, as I say, this is where I got mine from. I got them for Christmas from my mum, the black set. The pink set I got from Rob. So I will give you the prices that they are now, just so that you have a rough estimate, or you know how much they are. They would have been a little bit cheaper for myself, I think. I'm pretty sure that we got them on a deal. So let's have a little look here. Mine are the spiral curl ones. So okay, so this is just a quick overview then of what you get in your packs. So you get plain black hair flare curl former rollers, sorry. they curl the hair one way. You also then get black but with a purple line going through them. They curl the hair the other way. You have a hair pull. Excuse the Coke bottle in the background, the dog's been playing with it. So this is what you get in the pack. As I said then, I also have the green in the shorter ones, and I have some of the blue in the shorter ones too. And again, these do exactly the same. It curls one way or it curls the other way, and you have the two different lots. So now I've shown you this, let's get cracking, shall we? Just gonna have a quick look and see if I can find out how much they are for you all. If you're looking for the ones that are extra long, and they go up to, as I said, 22 inches, which is 55 centimeters of hair length, you're looking at roughly, for I believe it's you're looking at roughly £24.99. This means that you only get the 20 curl formers, whereas I have the 40 packs. So if your hair is thicker, you are going to want to go with more, just for that reason. So yeah, as I say, I have the 40 pack, but you do get with this for £24.99. You're going to be looking at getting the 20 spiral curl formers, and they come in 2 different colours. They have changed the pack slightly, so you would be looking at 2 different colours now instead of the one and the one with the purple line through it. So these come in counterclockwise and clockwise curls, and you also get the styling hook, and you would have the organza bag that it all comes in, and instructions on how to use them. So as I say, you know, they aren't the cheapest curlers, but they are some of the best that I've had, and I do find that when I use them, my hair will stay in for a couple of days. I will put a picture in just here, camera noise, and that is from when we went out just before Christmas with my best friends. They were down for the weekend, so because I had to order my own Christmas present from my mum, they let me have the present early, so I used them before I went out, and I will, as I say, put the picture in, and that will show you what the finished result and styled was for me, but I am hoping to show you that today anyway. Also, if you're looking for a soft hood like the one I showed you just then, they do have them on the Hair Flare website too, and that is £14.95. Now I don't know whether this is after tax or before VAT, sorry, I don't know. You would need to look into that a little bit more, but that's just so that you have a rough guide. As I say, this video isn't sponsored in any way. It is just me being a little bit bored and wanting to do a little bit of something that was a bit different. So let's get cracking. I'm not going to show you putting them all in because it can be a lengthy process, especially with the fact that, as you can see, I have so much hair, and I, for that reason, tend to wash and dry it before I do it. If I was going to be going out and I wanted to make these last longer term, then what I would do is I would wash my hair, I would part dry it with mousse in, and then I would put the rollers in and dry it off so that the hair bonds can dry in the shape that you want them to. However, because I'm only doing it because why not, I have, like I say, I've put in the mousse, which I always use the Schwarzkopf Got To Be, and that is the styling mousse. Now this is the Twisted Double Curling Power Curling Mousse. I don't know if it'll focus. There we go. So yeah, I just get this from your local Superdrug, Boots, Tesco's. They all sort of do this one. I tend to find that this is one of the better ones to hold in the curls, and that's just because I don't like putting mousse hairspray on afterwards. I find that with hairspray it gets too tacky, and I like having the movement in my hair, so for me it's got to be the Got To Be styling mousse every time. Sorry, so yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, so let's get started, and yeah, So basically what you want to do is you want to take fairly small sections. You don't want too much hair going in them, because if you do, especially if your hair is wet, it does take longer to dry. So figure out which way and which side of the head you want your curls to be going. Now for me, I like my curls to be coming all back off my face, so both sides they come back. So the purple ones are the ones that go, let's have a little look. Right, the ones with the black, the plain black, are the ones that are counterclockwise, so I'm going to put them on the left of my head, and the right ones are going to be the ones with the purple lining, and they're the ones that go clockwise. So it is entirely up to you. I don't think it would make too much of a difference on which way the curls go, but I tend to find that I prefer them where they link in together. I do separate them quite a bit anyway, but this for me is just personal preference. So if you take your curl hook, when you get it, it will be in 2 parts, and that is for the packing. Pop that together and you have the full hook. Take the curler that you want to use, and if you pull that all the way through, and as you can see, then you can see the hook through the top. Now for myself, I tend to start with some of the shorter ones in the bottom, just because I have so much hair that I use both sets of rollers, which means I actually have 4 of these, because they come in 2s when they come in the pack, so you get 2 of these usually. So let's just double check. No. So we're going to start with some of the green ones on the left hand side of my head, and as you can see, the green is actually longer, or just sort of getting longer than what my hair is, so I'm not going to be able to use these green ones for too much longer, other than around the front and on my fringe. So yeah, it is just going to be a case of, once my hair grows out of these, I am going to have to get another couple of packs. But you can get sort of like a 10 set, and that is just as a top-up pack. So there is that available to you as well. So if you take your sections, as I say, you don't want too big of a section, because if you do, then they would take longer to dry. And not only that, I find that it can give the curls a bit of a drag sometimes, and they don't last as long. I tend to find twisting the hair slightly, hook the top of the hair, and then if you grab the top of the roller and pull, and that is the first roller in. So it is quite a simple process. It will take a little bit of time to get used to, I'm not gonna lie. Usually this is a quicker process for me when Rob is home, because he is an angel, and he will actually lay on the sofa and he will put the curlers onto the rods that I want. So he will actually do all of that bit for me, so I am a little bit spoiled. So again, as I say, take your section, twist, hold the top of the curler and pull the rod out, and you will get them in quite quickly. So let's do the 2 blue ones on the other side. As I said before, the smaller the sections the better, but it does all depend on the thickness of your hair, because obviously you don't want to be running out of rollers either. That would just be a little bit of a disaster, you know, getting to the top of your head. And trust me, I have done that before, so I would definitely advise that you practice with these before you plan to do this on your hair for a night out, because it is heartbreaking when you do the whole head and then you get to the top and you're like, oh my gosh, there's like 1 left and I've got like 6 sections to go. So yeah, I would 100% advise to make sure that you do a couple of trial runs, especially with these. Like I say, they can be a little bit tricky to start with, but they're not too bad at all. So if you have any questions, always feel free to give me a message or comment on some of my Instagram posts, and that's Disney Obsessed 91. I am always happy to help and sort of guide as best I can. I'm not fully invested in hairdressing anymore. I do have my other career now, so hairdressing for me is just fun, but I do like to sort of keep my hand in with friends and family, and sort of enjoy doing hairdressing, because I never quite truly feel myself unless I am doing some sort of hairdressing. I've always sort of been that social little butterfly that enjoys doing that, so I don't think I could ever truly give it up 100%, but I do, you know, I do only do it for fun now more than anything else. It is just, it's not my career now, unfortunately, but you never know, one day I might sort of get back into that process, especially as, you know, now more than ever we're seeing that life is too short. So yeah, you never know. What you'll find as well is the more hair that you put into a roller, with, you know, for example this one, you can see the difference. So when there's a thicker strand and when there is a thinner strand, you can see that slightly different the rollers will curl. That is fine, it just means that you get a couple of different sort of size curls as well, which is quite nice. It sort of keeps everything looking a little bit more natural. You know, as I say, they don't have to be put in perfectly, but it is always nice sort of trying to do them as best you can, and as sort of I won't say symmetrical, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. You do want them to try and sort of keep them as, oh my gosh, what's the word? I can't think of the word, but as even as possible, that's what I was looking for. So yeah, the more even they are, the sort of better, and the more they last, I find. But you know, again, that is my own personal preference. I'm sure that when you do these yourselves, you will sort of find your own rhythm and your own way of putting them in and doing what it is that you want to do. So let's get as many of these in as we can. On to the black ones with the purple stripe through them. As I say, I'm just sort of taking, the sections aren't perfect, I'm literally just sectioning with my fingers. You can do it more perfectly if you want to. I just find that it's more time consuming, and to be honest, I can't be bothered. You know, when I use these on friends, then I might section a little bit tidier, but when it's just on myself, I just find that just going for it sometimes is the better option. I've just managed to get that one stuck. So yeah, even I've used these for a few years now, still get them stuck. So just keep an eye out for that, because it does hurt, and I tend to find that if you just slide the rod, the curler back down the rod, and then unhook and just retwist and start again, that's the best way that I've found to sort of get the hair out without ripping half of your scalp out with it. Sometimes what you'll find is if you take too big of a section, that's when it will knot, or if you don't hook it properly, and there's some of the hair that's fallen out of the hook, then as you're pulling it down, it can't actually unravel, and that'll be why it does get stuck in your hair. So just, again, little things just to be aware of. Obviously, I don't want you to be ripping half your scalp out, because if you're anything like me, hair is precious. Be that on men, women, children, whoever it may be. I love my hair, and I am quite precious over it, and sort of what I do with it and things like that. And I've even taught Rob now to be a little bit more precious and loving of his hair, so he now even shampoos twice, conditions, he puts heat protector on before he dries his hair, and if he's going to straighten it, he also puts a leave-in conditioner in too. So yeah, I always think that, you know, just make sure you do take good care of your hair. We only get one lot, and yes, it does sort of grow back, but it is still sad and you don't want to be losing it for any reason. So plenty of heat protector and things like that before you dry it, or before you put straighteners or curlers or anything like that in your hair, just to be sure, you know. Wouldn't want you all killing your hair. Guys, so it does look like the camera battery is gonna die as well. That's how sort of good I've been at keeping track of everything recently. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the camera battery on charge quickly. I'm gonna finish off putting these in, and before I go under the dryer then I will come back, show you what they all look like in, and then I will get under the dryer. So I'll see you all in a little bit. Won't be long. Bye. So it's the last couple of sections now, as you can see. It's just sort of these little bits left to do. So I'm gonna pop these sections in. I tend to do these top ones a little bit thinner, just so that because I prefer it being bouncier on the top, so I tend to do, as I say, the top ones thinner, just for that reason really. If you guys choose to get these, then you would be able to decide what is easier for yourselves. It's a very attractive look with the curlers in, as you can tell, and they don't hurt. You can pull them, they don't slip. They're really, really comfortable. I have slept in them once. It wasn't the best night's sleep I've ever had, and that's the only reason why I won't sleep in them personally anymore. It did make my hair last. My hair lasted really, really well. I pretty much dried it sort of like 90% dry, put the rollers in, and then I slept in it overnight. And I think the rollers were in that night a grand total of sort of 7 or 8 hours. In the morning I blasted it all under the hood dryer just for about 10 minutes, just to heat everything up, and then I got dressed, I did my makeup, and took them out after that then, so that they had been in and cooled down pretty much as long as possible really. I much prefer them sort of cooling as much as possible before I put them in, take them out even. So let's just have a little look here. So obviously, because my hair has fringe and I have the two sets, I'm able to use the other coloured ones, the shorter ones, around my fringe, just so that I've got a couple of extras then that I can put in around the top. It does pay off having those extra ones to use. It does make it easier for me. I won't be able to use them too much more, so I will eventually have to sort of look at buying some others, as I said a moment ago. So I am going to be quite sad when that day comes, because these, there's nothing wrong with them. As I say, I've had the green and the blue ones for nearly 3 years now, maybe two, yeah, nearly 3 years I would imagine, and I don't have any problems with them at all. They still look as good as the day that I first bought them, so it is quite nice still being able to use them as much as possible really. As I say, I am just going to put some of the blue ones in the front now. These ones are a lot shorter and they only just sort of cover my fringe area, so as I say, I am very shortly going to have to sort of find a new home for these. I may just sort of give them to a friend or a family member, somebody that has short hair that would prefer them and is able to sort of make use of them, really. I wouldn't want to just sort of bin them because they are expensive, and you know, if somebody could make use of them, then to me that makes more sense than just disposing of things. Obviously, you know, we live in a world now where people just get rid of things and it's unnecessary, and I don't want to be one of those people. So I'm not going to reach you. Okay, nearly there. Okay, so across the top you probably noticed that I have put all the sort of same ones, and I've done it further over, so they've come more this way than where my pattern actually is. That is because when I have curly hair I like to flick the front to the side and have it look a lot nicer and sort of, as I said before, a lot fuller than what it would be otherwise. So I still have 3 of the black ones that would go on the right hand side. So these are the counterclockwise ones. So these are 3 left over, and that's because I've taken and putting some blue in, and the blue and the green at the bottom as well. So it does, if you have thicker hair like me, it does pay to put and to buy a few more just in case. I would rather have too many than not enough, and for you to end up sort of like root drag, or have to take bigger sections so that the curls don't last as long, because obviously the bigger the section you take, the less they're gonna last, really. They won't last as long if you have to take bigger sections. So yeah, this is all of them in. As you can see, they are quite heavy, I won't lie, but they're not uncomfortable, as I say, you know. And if you wanted to sleep in them, and as I said, I have done it once, I personally don't recommend it. I don't find that it made it any different, and I also found that I had quite a rubbish night's sleep, but it is something that can be done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go under my hood dryer now for about 20 minutes just to heat it all up. As I say, I am doing this with dry hair, so I am hoping that the curls will come out enough to show you today. So yeah, I'm going to go under it for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to let it all dry completely for about, cool completely for about 20 minutes. So I will see you in a little bit. Speak to you later. Hi lovelies, welcome back. So, I have, as you can see, just taken one out just to make sure that it is actually all okay and that it has taken nicely. So I've just done that one, ready to take the rest of them out with yourselves. So I'm going to put a photo up in the corner now. Camera noise. That is a photo of me with the hood dryer on. Well, I say the hood dryer, the soft hood. I wanted to make sure that I used what you guys would have available to yourselves, so that you can actually see a genuine end result. So basically then, to get these out, you squeeze the top and pull, and with that then you will get your curls. Now I tend to find that I like to sort of work from the bottom up. It varies for everyone, so just do what you guys feel is easiest for yourselves. You know, everybody is different when it comes to taking these out, and I tend to find now that I just roll with it and go with whichever way I find easiest. Some days I'll start at the top and work my way down. Other days I will start at the bottom and work my way up. It all depends on what I'm doing, what look I'm going for, whether I'm going to have them quite loose and tousled, or whether I am actually going to keep them quite tight. Now with these, because it is just for the benefit of you guys to see, I'm not really sort of planning any sort of what's the word, I haven't really got any sort of style or end result in mind. It's just so that you guys really can see what these are about, and how they work more than anything. So saying that, let's get all of these bad boys out. Okay, so I'm really confused. I don't know what is going on with my camera, so this is going to be lots of little bits snipped together. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm going to have to get Rob to have a little look at it later on. I think it's because I had too much content on there, so I have just deleted a load of stuff. I need to learn to go through and actually delete as I edit, because I am absolutely rubbish at it. So I have a feeling that it is a lot to do with that, to be quite honest. So as I was saying then, we are pulling these out at the moment, hoping to have some really nice curls, which it looks like we do. So this has taken me all in all around 2 hours to get sorted, really, which, you know, when you think of the time that it takes to put them in, obviously I didn't do it from wet today, but if I had have done, you would have drying time. For me, I was just wanting to get some jobs done, and I needed to get some sort of living roomy bits sorted and housework done and hoovering done. And because our neighbours have got a 5-month-old, I tend to try and be as respectful noise wise as I can for them, because once we have kids, I would imagine I'm not going to be wanting somebody hoovering after 6 o'clock at night either. So, you know, I do try and be as respectful as I can for them for that reason. Okay, so as I'm pulling these out, you can probably see that I am sort of twizzling them slightly. I do that just to try and keep the curls in place. Obviously, as you can see, they are extremely sort of Cinderella-y at the moment, but you know, that can be changed. So if you do want to go out with Cinderella curls, then woohoo, you've sort of mission accomplished straight off the bat. If you don't like Cinderella curls, then that is something that you can tease out, and you can have a lot of fun with this. I tend to find that if I'm going out and I do these sorts of curls, if I find that I've taken them out and it's gone too tight just before I'm going, then what I do is I tend to clip just the front bit back, or I put like a really high sort of ponytail and fluff it all out and back comb it at the roots slightly, just to give it more volume, and that sort of then teases the curls out a little bit too, so it makes it a little bit nicer and a little bit more fun. And yeah, it's always nice having that option, so that's what I tend to enjoy doing. So okay, sorry, that's my iPad. I think my phone's on silent, but I didn't think about my iPad going. Okay, so all of my fringe bits tend to sort of stick up crazily once I take these out, so bear with me on that one, because that is a massive possibility and chance of that happening again today. But here goes nothing. Oh, so far so good. Okay, I think I spoke a bit too soon then. Yeah, spoke a bit soon. Okay, so let's chuck all these back in the bag. So as you can see then, it is a bit crazy, especially around my fringes. It always is, and as I say, you can tone and sort of tame this down a little bit, so that is what we're going to do now. I tend to use my fingers, as I did have, or used to have, a really wide tooth comb, and I mean, it was a super wide tooth comb. It was a Denman and I absolutely loved it, and then my husband found it and he thought it was excellent for when he put wax in his hair to comb it through, which is great. I'm glad he found something that he loved, but unfortunately it had to be my something, and I haven't actually been able to find one since. I am going to have a look online soon, see if we can get one ordered, but it's just nothing ever compares to the Old Faithful, and I am quite sort of heartbroken that he decided to use that. And yeah, so that really did sort of annoy me a little bit. So right, okay, what I tend to do now then, because I don't like Cinderella curls as such, is I tend to just sort of run my fingers through it. I try and sort of scrunch it up a little bit, poof it up at the roots, and just sort of go from there really. Now with this, as I say today, I haven't done it from wet like I would normally. I have just done it from dry, so these curls may be a lot softer once it's combed through than what you guys would get on a normal sort of wash, put them in wet and leave it dry from there. So I apologise if that is going to be the case, but you do have, as I say, the options of doing a run through before you use these to go out on a night out or something like that. But yeah, so as you can see then, it has gone a lot softer. It is a lot more sort of wild, but I prefer it being more wild than I do soft. It is a very, very sort of spiral curl, as I said it would be. Now, I tend to, as I say, if I need to, put the top bit up, because I'm not a massive fan of it being really, really thick spirals. But I have, as you saw when it came out, these were really tight, but because I put it in on dry hair, it has dropped quite considerably, and I won't put hairspray, excuse me, I won't put hairspray in because I'm not a fan of hairspray. But just so that you guys can see exactly how it is, it's not actually too bad. It is still very, very curly. It took me 2 hours, and usually, as I say, I would do it from wet, and again, that only takes me 2 hours as well. It doesn't take me long. It's more the drying time when it's done from wet than it is anything else. So whereas today I've not had the hood on for so long, I've literally just had it on for 10 minutes, and I've got up, I've done dinner, I've done hoovering and cleaning and things like that with the rollers in. But normally what I would do is I would wash my hair, as I said, 90% dry it, mousse it before I dry it, put the rollers in, and I would sit then under the hood for as long as it took to dry. I then leave the hair to cool for 20 minutes before I then take the rollers out. Once I've taken the rollers out, I tend to let it settle for another 10 to 15 minutes before I run through it with my fingers, just because I don't want to mess up the curl at all. If I know that I'm going on a night out or something like that, somewhere special, a wedding, and I need it to last for longer than sort of 2 hours or something, then what I will do, as I say, is I will leave it as long as possible with the rollers in. So if I'm going to an evening do, I would do my hair, and the evening do starts at 7, for example. I would do my hair at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, get it all dried off, and then once it's dry, I will still leave those rollers in until, for example, 5 o'clock. If we're leaving at 6, so I would take the rollers out then at 5, leave it for as long as possible, do my makeup, do everything else that I need to do, and then get my dress on and tease or finish my hair after that. So yeah, I absolutely love these rollers. I give them a 10 out of 10 every single time. If you haven't used them, you really, really need to try and invest in some and use them. As I say, this video is not sponsored at all by curlformers. This is just my experience and my views on them. I absolutely adore them, as I've said, and yeah, I think it gives you a really, really pretty curl, and it's just great every single time. It's absolutely perfect. So yeah, the dog's trying to get attention from me, so I'm going to end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, give it a massive thumbs up for me, and don't forget to hit the subscribe, and I'll catch up with you all soon. Cheers guys, keep smiling.